Hello, thank you for watching. Welcome to this series of videos about the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius of Loyola. My name is Father Gaston Giacinti. I am a religious priest of the Order of the Institute of the Incarnate Word, and also I am the pastor of this parish, St. Bernard of Clairvaux, in Dallas, Texas. I am going to present a series of talks and meditations that compose the spiritual exercises. This experience of the spiritual exercises will certainly help you to model your life after God's plan, God's will. St. Ignatius was a soldier for the Castilian army back in the medieval ages. From a very early age, he was destined to be a man of arms or a man of God. He is described as passionate and fearless, yet restrained. As a knight, he learned to wear the armor and the costumes used in courts and castles. He loved to read books about chivalry. Once, defending the castle of Pamplona against the French Navarra army, a cannonball passed in between his legs, tearing his left calf and breaking his right shin. The garrison finally surrendered to the French, and the French treated well Ignatius and let him be carried on a litter to Loyola. Once in Loyola, his leg had to be broken again and reset, and afterwards an end of the bone had to be sawn off. All these pains he endured voluntarily without anesthesia. Then, while recovering for days and months, in order to divert the weary hours of convalescence, he asked for romances of chivalry books, his favorite reading, but there were none in the castle. Instead, they brought to him the life of Christ and the lives of saints. And he read them in the same competitive spirit with which he used to read the achievements of the knights and warriors, his heroes. Then he challenged himself. Suppose I were to rival this saint in fasting or in prayer. He would then wander off into thoughts of chivalry and service to fair ladies. Then, all of a sudden, he became conscious that the after effect of these dreams was to make him dry and dissatisfied, while the ideas of falling into rank among the saints braced and strengthened him and left him full of joy and peace. Next, it dawned on him that the former ideas were of the world and the latter from God. Finally, worldly thoughts began to lose their hold, while heavenly ones grew clearer and dearer. One night, as he lay awake, pondering these new lights, he saw clearly the image of Our Lady and of the child Jesus, as whose sight, for a notable time, he felt a reassuring sweetness, which eventually left him with such a loathing of his past sins that every unclean imagination seemed blotted out from his soul. His conversion now completed, he now would be a religious soldier. After much reflection, he resolved to imitate the holy austerities of the saints in order to do penance for his sins. In February 1522, Ignatius bade farewell to his family and went to Montserrat, a place of pilgrimage in northeastern Spain. He spent 3 days in confessing his sins, hung his sword and dagger near the statue of our Blessed Mother as symbol of his abandoned ambitions, and clothed in sackcloth, and spent the Holy Night in vigil on March 24th. The next day he went to Manresa, a town 48 kilometers from Barcelona. He lived as a beggar, ate and drank sparingly, scourged himself, and for a time neither combed nor trimmed his hair. Daily he attended Mass and spent 7 hours in prayer, often in a cave outside the town of Manresa. The sojourn at Manresa was marked by spiritual trials, as well as by joy and interior light. While sitting one day on the banks of the Cardoner River, the eyes of his understanding began to open, and without seeing any vision, he understood and knew many things, as well spiritual things as things of faith. At Manresa, he sketched the basis for his book, The Spiritual Exercises. The Spiritual Exercises is an orderly sequence of meditations and contemplations and rules of the spiritual life. Pope Paul III approved it in 1548, and on December 20th, 1929, Pope Pius XI wrote an encyclical, Mens Nostra, about the spiritual exercises. Pope Pius XI says, "We earnestly desire to see the spiritual exercises daily extended more widely, not only among the clergy, but also among the multitudes of the Catholic laity. For nothing can be more pleasing to us than the recollection of the heavenly graces and the unutterable consolations which we have often experienced when occupied in the spiritual exercises. Venerable brethren, may these spiritual exercises be extended everywhere through all the order of the Christian society, and if they were diligently performed, a spiritual regeneration will follow, piety will be enkindled, and the forces of religious will be nourished, and peace will reign in society and in the hearts of all."